Welcome to the Thrive Mindset Podcast, where manifesting your dreams isn't magic, it's momentum. I'm your host, Carrie Dahle, entrepreneur, author, and manifestation coach, and I'm here to help you stop holding yourself back and start building the life you've been craving. Each week, I'll share real stories, practical tools, and powerful mindset shifts to help you reframe the negative, embrace gratitude, and take aligned action toward your goals. If you're ready to up-level your life, your relationships, your success, then this is your place. Let's dive in. Hey friends, welcome back to the Thrive Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Carrie Dahle, and today we're diving into something that has been lighting a fire in me lately, and that's habits. Not the cute ones like lighting a candle before journaling or sipping tea before bed. No, we are talking about the big ones, the habits that build your dreams and the sneaky ones that quietly choke them out. I've been reading the 10 times rule lately, and let me tell you, this book is basically calling us all out in the most loving but direct way possible. And as I'm reading, I keep thinking this is exactly what we need for manifesting in the new year. This is the energy, the stretch, the challenge, and the clarity that helps us stop treating our goals like, I don't know, polite suggestions and start treating them like non-negotiables. So today, we're going to talk about how habits are the proof of belief in our manifesting practice and how applying that 10 times rule can catapult your results, not because you hustle harder, but because you are going to align bigger. You're going to have to really be honest here. And this is just going to be a little hard at times because no one likes to face their bad habits. I sure don't. I know that when I am not being successful at my health goals, that I have to do a reality check and look at myself and say, why is that? Am I being consistent with working out? Am I eating right? Am I making bad choices? I also know that when real estate is lagging, I have to ask myself, am I doing the things that I know make me successful? Am I writing personal notes? Am I reaching out to people regularly? Am I following up with past clients? I have to be truthful, and it can be hard. So let's just call it out. Your habits reveal what you actually believe is possible for you. And I've learned this the hard way. A couple of years ago, I remember saying that I wanted to write my book. I talked about it. I visualized it. I manifested it. But you know what I didn't do? Sit down and actually write. I'd get to the end of the day and I'd think, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll have more time tomorrow. I'll make the time tomorrow. Meanwhile, I somehow had time to reorganize my pantry, check Instagram like it was a part-time job, and convince myself that perfect writing routine was magically going to appear. And it finally hit me. My habits didn't match my dream. They matched my comfort zone. And that's when I realized that manifesting isn't magic. It's alignment. Your habits show the universe whether you're genuinely preparing for what you're asking for, or if you're just flirting with the idea. Here's the other thing though. A lot of times when we get to the end of the year, like we are right now, I mean, we're middle of December, right? I mean, we're days from Christmas, which I'm super excited about. And if you're anything like me, which if you're listening to this, I'm sure you are similar, you are starting to think about next year. You're starting to think about that word for next year. You're starting to think about those goals. You're starting to make those tweaks and those changes to your 10 things you're manifesting. I know that I have spent a lot of time these last couple of weeks doing that. And when you're doing it, there's this part of you that wants to make those goals, those manifestations realistic. And I get it. But that's not what the 10x rule is really about. Because the 10x rule is there to push you. It's to push you beyond what you think is possible. It's to challenge you. And a lot of people hear 10x and they imagine setting their alarm for an hour. Only bakers or hardcore athletes are awake at, right? They imagine getting up at like 3 a.m., but that's not it. For me, the 10x rule clicked during a season of major transition. When I was stepping back into real estate after thinking I might be done, I kept bumping into the same thought. If I'm really going to do this, I have to act like someone who's doing it at a high level already. And I remember sitting at one of our triple R retreats side with my journal and having this moment of truth with myself. Future Carrie, she is this successful broker bitch. She's a coach, she's a speaker, and she wasn't winging her days. She wasn't letting her schedule happen to her. She wasn't hoping it would come all together. She was intentional, she was clear, and she acted with purpose. And the 10x rule is just that. Behave today like the person you are becoming, not the person you've been. It is definitely a stretch, but stretching is what makes room for growth. So don't set these little goals for yourself. Make them big. Make them huge. Because wouldn't you rather set a goal so big for yourself that, yeah, so what if you fail? But failing at this huge goal and getting 90% of the way to that versus setting this tiny little goal and failing at it, well, I don't know about you, but I would rather make 90% of this massive goal than make 0% of a tiny goal. So let's talk about some habits that build a 10x mindset and that I think will help you manifest your dreams in this next year. Let's start with habits to create clarity. I have to tell you, every big shift in my life has come from clarity habits. When Jeff and I do our triple R retreats, or even when I'm sitting in my office with my planner, okay, let's be honest, usually with a cup of coffee and one of my 15 favorite pens, getting clear has always been a catalyst. I remember one morning this past year, I sat down and wrote out this version of me. I wanted to step into for Thrive Mindset. And as soon as I saw her on paper, confident and consistent and speaking on stages, helping people transform, I thought, oh, she's the one. She's been waiting for me. And that habit of writing it out and getting clarity showed me a roadmap. And it does every single time. So I love helping others do that same thing and create that habit of clarity for themselves. Because when you can journal out and write out who you see as your future self in detail, you get clarity. You get a clear mindset and clear direction on where you're headed. And that will help you align with your future self. The second habit is to eliminate the static. And for me, honestly, for a long time, I said yes to everything because I could, not because I should. And at one point, my calendar looked like it had been filled out by a toddler with stickers. Everything, everywhere, all at once. And I had to ask myself a really hard question. Is this habit moving me forward or just keeping me busy? And I remember one specific week when I had 5 events, 3 meetings, and 0 time for anything that actually mattered. My energy was scattered, my creativity was gone, and everything I was manifesting, well, they were seriously collecting dust in the corner. But as soon as I eliminated that static and I cut out the commitments and I cleared my schedule and I recentered my energy, it was honestly uncomfortable at first because I didn't know what to do without being busy. But then suddenly, everything started flowing again. Because when I eliminated that static, that busyness, that noise, I allowed the universe to bring me what I'd really been wanting. And there's power in that. In fact, it's really powerful. So just know that eliminating static is truly a habit, and it's a good one. And then the third habit I want to talk about is expanding your capacity. And when I was writing the chapter for the small business growth book, there were days that I felt completely overwhelmed. The story was inside me, but getting it onto the page required me to stretch in ways that I never stretched before. And yet, every day I showed up for 20 minutes, just 20. Some days I wrote a paragraph, some days a page, some days I rewrote the same sentence 5 times. But that tiny habit expanded the capacity I had in huge ways. I didn't become a writer because I wrote perfectly. I became a writer because I was consistent. So when you are trying to grow in something new that you have never done before, whether it be writing or weight loss or a new job, learning AI, growing your business, show up. Show up and commit to it every single day in a small amount. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be good. But do it. Show up for yourself. Show up, do it, commit to it. Because capacity grows from consistency, never from convenience. And that's a habit you want to have in 2026. This episode of the Thrive Mindset podcast is brought to you by the Scott Lewis Group at John L. Scott Real Estate. Buying or selling a home is more than just a transaction. It's your move. It's your next chapter. And we're here to make sure that your move is remarkable. We know this market inside and out, and we care deeply about helping you find more than just a house. We want you to find the place where your life truly thrives. Whether you're stepping into your first home, upgrading to something new, or starting something fresh, you deserve more than ordinary. With the Scott Lewis Group, it's your move. Let's make it remarkable. Now, let's talk about letting go, because your old habits can't come with you into your new life. And for me, the one habit that I consistently have had to release is the belief that I have to do everything myself. And whether that be in real estate or in Thrive Mindset or in my home, I seem to carry this superhero energy like it's this badge of honor. And I tend to think that I'm the only one who can do whatever the job is. I remember years ago when my husband told me it was okay for us to hire a housekeeper. And I felt so much shame in it, right? I felt like I wasn't doing my job as a wife or as a mom if I brought somebody into our house a couple times a month to clean. And he just looked at me and said, "Why would you feel that way? Like, we make enough money. You work so hard. That should be a pleasure to have somebody do it." And once I finally let that go, he was right. It felt so good. It's not that I don't clean my house. It's not that I don't take care of things on a regular basis, but just to have somebody else come in and clean the bathrooms thoroughly and to do a big cleaning a couple times a month is a huge help. And it was great. And same thing with having a team help me in real estate. Once I learned to let go of certain tasks, my business has grown and thrived so much more. And then also with my podcast right now, I've now hired somebody who's helping me, and letting that go has been a challenge because I like to do everything myself. But these are habits that are holding me back. So, what is it for you? What is it that you need to let go of that is going to help you thrive more in this year? Because as sometimes letting go isn't about quitting, it's really about making space for you to do more. And in this case, it's to do that 10x more. Now, here's your challenge for the week because I'm not letting you walk away without a takeaway. This week, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. What goal in my life needs a 10x upgrade? Something you played too small that's time for you to expand on. Okay. 2, what habits do I need to adopt to match my next level self? And then just pick one of those habits for you to work on. And then what habit or pattern do I need to release immediately? And yes, just one, just pick one. I mean, I'm sure there's probably multiple things, but just pick one because a small shift equals big energy and which will make a massive ripple in your life. And friends, habits are the foundation of everything you manifest. Not because habits make you perfect, but because habits make you consistent. And consistency is what turns belief into results. When you pair manifestation with aligned habits, and when you dare to think 10 times bigger than we have been, our dreams stop being these far-off ideas and start becoming inevitable outcomes. So go out there, get bold with your goals, get honest with habits, and above all else, remember that I believe in you and you can manifest the life of your dreams.